I think now I'm preaching to the choir. It would be in order that before we tell you what we want to say or what we thought we should say, we should listen from you. As the diaspora here in Texas, yes, we have listened to members of the diaspora in Minnesota. We were in Washington, D.C. We have been traveling around the world, and we have listened to members of the diaspora in different countries. As Ledamo Lekina told you, I've also lived outside Kenya for 7 years. I do recall when I left Kenya, I left with a suitcase. 7 years later, I came back to Kenya. I had a wife, I had children, I had 3 degrees, and I was generally an old man. So perhaps I also get what you go through as members of diaspora. But the fact that you guys are in the United States of America, you're the creme de la creme, because getting to the United States of America is difficult. Right now, I'm dealing with cases of those who have applied for visas, and the United States Embassy has told them they have to keep checking for availability. In fact, it takes up to 3 months or 4 months for you to get a visa interview. For those of you who are here, we said it the other day, that to come to the United States of America, to get a US visa is more difficult than becoming an MCA. In fact, it is more difficult than getting an ODM nomination certificate. I think you've seen the drama in the last 1 or 2 weeks. People chasing certificates, wakipata inaponyoka. Wanaipata, wanapata imeandikwa jina ya mtu mwingine. But for you guys to come to the US, it's you know, you must be experts, you must be professionals, you must be citizens of Kenya, you must be upright, you must be financially stable, and all those things. So we know that we are dealing with not another political rally. We know that we are dealing with partners. It is on that basis that my deputy party leader, I want to request that I take this program back to the diaspora, the leadership. There could be a memorandum that you have of ideas and issues that you expect us to deal with, and then it is only after that that it would be fair for us to respond. Would as many of a similar opinion say aye? Aye. Would have many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. So leadership of diaspora, please, the floor is yours. We can keep it brief. Thank you.
Please let's appreciate our senator. Hands of applause. Indeed, it is a great day. Let me just correct a few things or do a little alignment in the House. First, let me say this is a leaders' consultation or consultative meeting. It is not a political party meeting. It is not a public political meeting. As you can see, the sitting allows us to have a consultation and to have an interaction one-on-one. Number 2, let me also appreciate our senator who has just left, and really to appreciate the effort that the party under the Azimio coalition have done, not only bringing Baba to the state, but also availing themselves mashinani kuja kwetu. But for those that are new about Dallas or this area, we are a very strong Kenyan community, perhaps the largest Kenyan diaspora community out of Kenya. Statistics few years ago before Corona, we were estimated with formal data, because we have informal and we have formal. Informal are those people that are out of the radar, nobody knows where they are. But formal are those recorded. We are about 75,000 Kenyans living in the northern part of Texas, which include Waco, Fort Worth, across Tyler, Dallas, and all the way to Denton. So we are a huge demographic. We are also among the young demographic out of the immigration, because Texas generally is a younger state. You'll find all kind of caliber within the diaspora of Dallas and Texas in general. Driven by the need to grow Texas, all our people are in all sectors of our economy in Dallas. Dallas or Texas is the second largest economy in the US, So you can imagine what that means to our Kenyan market. We have had the chance and the opportunity to host the only live president of Kenya in power as a community, and we hosted President Uhuru on August 7th, 2014, when he had just come to the invitation of the African leadership by President Obama, and he extended his visit to Dallas courtesy of this community's invitation. We've hosted Baba under different seasons, so Baba is very familiar with our Dallas community. And indeed, anytime Baba is in US, other than this time when he had to jet back for matters country, Baba will always come to Dallas. So he's not new to our community. Your Excellency, we have so many things we can talk about Dallas. We have business people, we have educators, we have all influencers. As a matter of fact, 10 years ago, the state of Texas, in its wisdom, had the assistant accounting officer at the state level in Austin of the name Muriithi. That's how serious Kenyans have become in Texas. Let us applaud our leaders in Texas. In the last election, we had one of us who was running for a city hall, a city council member in Anna, and he came shy of 75 votes to becoming a member of city of Anna, which is slightly north of Dallas. So I'm saying this so we can all be affirmed to what the importance of Kenyans within this city and the metro. Like our senator have said, there are many issues that he and the government understand, and I'm glad even our senator Moses is familiar with challenges of diaspora. Emotional, being away from their relatives, is usually ignored. And there are many factors we can talk about, which bring matters of repatriation, whether somebody is in immortal or whatever circumstances, some being taken back home, willingly or unwillingly, or as a body. There are challenges that comes, and some of them are emotional. I don't know whether the government have any issue that they can deal with, but I wanted to highlight that's one of them, and most of the time we ignore it. But on matters that we think the next government, which we believe Azimio will form the next government, Baba will be the next president of our Republic of Kenya. I have no doubt in my mind. Numbers don't lie. If he came close to winning in the last two elections, if he did not win, and by the way, I come from Kiambu. So as I could be as guilty as accused, even though there is no accusation, but I want to believe Baba, in all aspects, not only has been elected, but he deserves to be the next president of our republic. So he understands most of the things that we have. And for the benefits of time, I'll try to zero them down. One, when the president was here in August 2014, at the presidential announcement in a hall that we arranged, he announced that Dallas will get an honorary council. We applaud, and I say that we because among us there are people who know behind the scenes. We moved into action. We fronted names. We did what we could do as diasporians. But that did not come to fruition. So even as the president leaves, and we want to believe he's leaving the country in the right hands, Dallas does not demand less than a consulate or an honorary council. We do so because we know 100,000 people who live in city at any given time want to travel back to Kenya, want their passport renewed, want their children to get their birth certificate as Kenyans. They really need services and expedite it for that reason. And we are not tired with the embassies and the consulate we have. But time sometimes does not allow us to dictate. When death comes, and you have to travel to Kisii, to Malindi, to Kisumu, to Turkana, wherever you come from, you don't have the luxury of time of waiting for a month or two to have your passport renewed, your stamp. We need it now. We needed it yesterday. 10 years ago, it was urgent. It is more urgent now than ever. So in the next government, Your Excellencies, as you form the committees and foundation from the legislative perspective, Senator, Dallas qualifies by numbers, qualifies by amount of money that we limit. And if we must offer offices, most of the people you see here have private offices. I do. I'm willing to give my office to any Kenyan qualified to be a consulate. Mbona hatupigi makofi? So there is no reason why we shouldn't have one. Voting has always been sehemu nyeti. Ama inaitangwa nini? Kiswahili ni ngumu. Eh? Swala nyeti. Oh, ati? Oh, sehemu nyeti ni private part. Oh, hiyo ingine ni swala nini? Ni swala nyeti. I should be the last one to say sehemu nyeti. Swala nyeti. Voting has always been an issue. In the current IT and knowledge, we shouldn't labor about how people can vote. And I'm sure at different forums that has been addressed. So I'm not going to put a lot of effort on it. Diaspora representation. And before I go to diaspora representation, let me tell you why we think diaspora representation must be. When we are buying properties in Kenya, among us the amount of money that we remitted last quarter, which was actually $1.14 billion, among us that money is money that we inject to the economy by buying our own properties. When you buy a property, and I know for a fact there's a group in Dallas that was the majority of them were from Kisii community. They bought a property in Kajiado. It was in Namanga? Namanga, Konza somewhere. And they were conned over 100 million Kenya shillings. Masai alikuja na hako na shuka. Na kumbe alikuwa si Masai. Sijui kama alikuwa Mkikuyu, but it was a Kenyan. Na wakajanganywa. There was no title, and if the title was there, it was fake. There was no recourse. Na ikaenda. I think that court is still going on. We have not found it. It's about 7 years later. We haven't solved it. So matters of due diligence, because it's upon the buyer to do their due diligence, sometimes can be scarce because you are at a distance. And because we live in a society that is very open-minded, trust, sometimes after 2, 4, 5 years, we kind of adopt the same attitude with our brothers in Kenya. We get it easy here. You can easily leave your house unlocked, your car unlocked. Anybody that says something in this country, whatever they say, they mean it, and what they mean is what they say. It's not the same back home. And there's nothing wrong with, unajua Wakenya tuko na maneno yetu, like one of the musicians said. Lakini hiyo maneno saa zingine haikuangi ya ukweli, kuanzia chini mpaka juu. But then we cannot allow that culture to permeate when it comes to your investment. There must be due diligence and there must be processes. So that's one of them, and that's why we think as I move forward that office will address those issues. We have had a lot of amongst people in the diaspora giving or getting access to goodwill stuff like hospital, medical equipment. Anyone among you who have had that chance? Unapewa machine dialysis. Have you found it is so hard to give them back to Kenya? Yes. Let me tell you, as an experience, Your Excellency and Senator, personally I had 50 machines for dialysis. I paid for them to get to Kenya. I had my contact in Kenyatta Hospital. But guess what? They got there. But Kenyatta Hospital cannot accept them. Not only because of bureaucracy, but because there is a clause that says Kenya has an anti-dumping policy, which we understand. It is in order. But surely, there must be something that we can do better than just... And by the way, I even had to pay for them to be disposed. And this is not my story. It's a story among a lot of people. So I'm thinking now at this point, at your intelligence and with your permission, we must allow diaspora to give back to their country in whichever form and manner without us losing their money. So if amongst us, somebody is a director in a medical facility, they have needles, hospital beds, call it, and they want to give it back to Kenya. Why should it cost you a nightmare to just give them back to our country? To give it to a Kisii county that is struggling to get beds in our hospitals. Should it not be easy? This is one of the things that we think proper arrangement must be made by the offices that we propose that we set. We have an issue about representation. We keep on reading numbers. Kenyans in the US are over 1 million. In Europe, whatever number. The last time we looked at demographic, we were told we have about 4 million Kenyans living outside the Kenyan jurisdiction. Shouldn't that be a number that needs representation? Shouldn't we have a sitting senator somewhere or a member of parliament appointed, nominated, or elected who deals with matters of diaspora? And that is their matter? Should we even try to ape the Asian tigers, the Singapore, the Indian, who have a standalone ministry of diaspora affairs? This minister or a cabinet minister sitting at the level of executive is answerable to the need of diasporians. So that any of you that have issues does not have to run around thinking about a chief. We have somebody who have access to Baba and say, this is what we want to be done. I want an affirmation from you. It's a question. Shouldn't we have that? It sounds like it's a yes. So in the next government, Your Excellencies and the Senator, we are not only requesting, we're perhaps trying to be humble, but we demand that we need a senator, or even less, if not both, a member of parliament, and perhaps better, a sitting cabinet minister at the level of diaspora affairs. We read about issues of borrowing. We just had one road that has been done by PPP, private participation, coming from Kitengela all the way to ABC. It's costing us, Senator, how much money are we using on that Nairobi Express Highway? Is it 300 and? It's a couple of billions. Do you understand, or do we understand this is money that diasporas already have? Let me give you an example. Most of us here in Dallas, we use George Bush Express Highway. How many people know George Bush Highway, Express Highway, is not owned by US? It is owned by a guy in Mexico. Somebody who knows, say yes. I'm sure Lydia works in the bank. She knows it. Lydia, just stand up so that people don't think I'm just creating a name. She knows that, isn't it? Let me tell you, the guy that owns this highway that we are paying every day used to live in Texas, invested in bonds. And today, we are paying, every time you use Express George Bush Highway, from Grand Prairie all the way to McKinney, I think, you are paying somebody in Mexico. It is not so hard for us as diasporians to have a very organized diaspora bond that will allow their diasporians to invest whichever amount of money you have to create highways in Kenya. If we're only borrowing 360 billion to create an express that is going to be costing in money going to China, how if that bond was given by to the diasporian? And we are given 30 years, so that you who have 1,000 at the end of the year can get that money to your pocket as 2,000. So we know there was a diaspora bond that was launched by Amina Mohammed when she was a CS and something happened. But it was not, we were not involved in arranging it or knowing it. We don't know what it is. And I highly doubt if it's functional. And excuse my ignorance. If there's something that is properly arranged and rolled out, we should not even be borrowing money from China. Diasporians have the money, they have the capacity, they have what it takes to build roads in Kenya, to create housing that is needed in Kenya, and that money comes back to our pocket. I'm a Christian. Somebody say amen. I know we have a lot of things to talk about, and I don't want to keep you waiting, and I want to hear your issues. Matters business are critical to us. Matters of visa, which is, you know, it's there on a the Kikuyu in me is coming out. Reciprocating. Those are not matters that can be addressed, but certainly we have a lot of people who are sometimes mistreated in various areas of our jurisdiction. Whether in Arab world, we know a lot of our Kenyan brothers or sisters are suffering. In Saudi, in Arab countries, even sometimes even in the West, we have issues of race that sometimes are not pronounced every market. But we do know at a level of discussion diplomacy, our embassy must be involved. When we have people who are sending us viral videos crying that they're held somewhere without water, and they are crying that they need somebody to hear them, and they're being mistreated, some are being killed. One Kenyan is too many. At Diasporian, we don't care where you are. We suffer from the same consequences. One of us down is all of us down, whichever jurisdiction they are in. We need Baba's government to be sensitive. I don't know where that falls in, whether it's going to be under foreign affairs, but diaspora must be responded. If one of us has gone down, we need to see the weight of our Kenyan government. If one American is held in Vietnam during crisis, they will send an airplane to pick them. I don't think God made Americans special than Kenyans. We are all children of the same father. As I wind up, most of us are very friendly. We can capture our governors and senators when we are here. Try it when you go home. It becomes challenge, even to some of us. I have had the chance to engage with our governors. In fact, you remember 2018, we had a governors conference. Benson and I worked. I had to fly in Kenya to caucus. And I know how hard and how beneficial it is to have these leaders come to our level. For God's sake, this office that we are seeking for, if we cannot get the chair of the governors, at least I know for a fact, the person appointed or elected or whatever position we put them can allow us to do that. And I'm saying that because the mantra at the county level, which I accredit Baba for giving us devolution, is 48 countries, one government. 47 counties, one government. 48 under one government. We all get it? These are not competing, but they are complementing. But let me tell you the challenges or the beauty of it. County at a level of a county is a government by itself headed by our executive and their excellency. If they allow us, and I remember we passionately talked about it on the governor's meeting in 2018, let them, every county, let them have a diaspora affair desk at their office. Let them compete within the diaspora mind. When they are selecting their CECs, let them compete among the diasporas. You know what? Most of the diasporans, especially in the US, have a lot of experience in hospital and nursing. If today any county or any government or any hospital in Kenya today says, we want to have free experience nursing exchange program with Kenyans living abroad, we want to facilitate them to come with their stethoscopes and those things at the airport so they not ask. We have so many nurses in Kenya, in US, who are willing to go and help our nurses, add capacity, show them how to do things. And I respect what they are doing. They know a lot. But we exchange. No one knows everything. If we experience what we experience here, share those experiences with our sisters and our brothers in Kenya, and we learn from them, we'll have a better hospital management in Kenya. So we want And we humbly request, if counties can allow us, please bring this on the table. Can they allow a diaspora desk at the county level? And especially on issues that are devolved. One of them is health issues. We have a lot of things that we can share. We have a lot of people who are willing to come and help our patient, teach and experience and train our people. Because sometimes you read some of these things that somebody is seated, is bleeding or is dying at the couch waiting, at the forms waiting to be attended, and it's pathetic. Well, we can be able to solve those problems ourselves. So as I sit down and allow our senator to take over, I want to imagine that we want to campaign for Baba. Each one of you here has a multitude of families and friends who they listen to. You are paying for school for a lot of children that you have never met. You have an influence in your city, in your village, in your families. One phone call from any of you can turn 100 votes. Somebody say amen. Amen. If we mean well for Baba, some of us are going to be engaged in financial help where we can, because I suggest we should. Some of us will add capacity. Some of us will go and vote. I will. Baba, my vote, you'll have it. And I'm saying that knowing that I have a lot of friends in UDA. Amongst you know me. So I have dined with the highest ranking. So I am pronouncing because I know you are recording my. Let it be known today that has defected in mass. Please, let us make those efforts. There's a reason why I think Baba fits in the bill. This man, I was listening the other day, and I know I'm digressing from the issues of diaspora, but allow me, I'm human. It's politics. I was listening to my friend who I sat with a few weeks ago, Moses Kuria. Don't boo. I was with him somewhere. No, please keep quiet. And he was trying to show us how our deputy, President, I'm not going to mention his name. Sometimes it's not even worth it. That he's been persecuted. And anybody else that has supported Handshake has been persecuted. Is there anybody in our country who has been persecuted for liberty than Baba? No. Who can march? If you have to run for persecution, please, that's not your category. We know the man who has suffered for freedom, equity, and any kind of a thought you can think of, including devolution, other than Baba. Anybody else? Baba is number one for our country. That man has done everything he could. His Excellency Raila Odinga, across the tribe, is a man who means well for our country. He's human. He's very human. We don't want to put him in a category of Jesus. He's very human. And every human may have his fault. But among us, the people he's running with, anytime, he is a thief that is seated with Jesus on the right side. The other one is on the left side. And he will meet the fate that he deserves. Baba may not be a thief, but he deserves the presidency. So my brothers and my friends, I propose with this leadership, before the election, and your guidance, Senator Moses, can you arrange a Zoom meeting with Baba with Diaspora? This meeting should be arranged a good time, so that those that can be able to visit Nairobi can be present. And we sign a declaration and a memoranda with Baba as diasporian. Call the news conference. Maybe even travel in one flight. Arrive at Jomo Kenyatta as diasporian Azimio group. Yes. Received by Moses, our senator. We go and see Baba. We sign a memorandum. We agree We call our preacher, we pray together because there's some rumors that Baba does not pray. Baba is an Anglican. He's baptized, he's a Christian. We pray together, then the Diasporians can fly back. And on the 9th of August, when Baba becomes president, amongst us, we shall be in the feast and celebration for Baba. I yield the time. May Baba become the next president of our republic. Azimio. Azimio. Nanani. Nanani. Very good. Kenyans, hey. Kenyans are. Baba, eh. Baba, eh. Asante sana, Mungu awabariki.
Asante sana. Nilisikia unaitwa meya wa hii mji, meya wa Dallas. For those of us who joined while we were on, my name is Moses Otieno Kajwang. I'm the senator for Homa Bay County. Senator Lidamo Lekina has just left. We agreed that we wanted to listen to the diaspora and their aspirations. And Alex has done very well. My deputy party leader, you'll be conducting a baptism ceremony at some point so that we can admit him formally into the Azimio fold. We said we didn't come here presumptuous that everybody believes in Baba and Azimio. And it's about dialogue and sharing what Baba stands for. And I think that Alex has articulated it excellently. Bob Nyangweso is here. Bob is a chair of a committee that has done a lot of work to bring us here. We know that it's a difficult day for people who work. It is a weekday. You came here not to idle. You came here to work. You came here to make money. You came here to make a difference. In fact, someone said you didn't leave home. You actually left home so that you could improve home. And so every moment you're here, you're working hard to improve home. Your personal homesteads, your clans, your families, but Kenya as a whole. So, Bob, before I give you an opportunity to introduce the team that you worked with, we have the chair of the East African Chamber of Commerce, Kasue Benson. Because Alex had started from a very, very business perspective, I want my two leaders in the party and the coalition just to take note of the broader business issues, and then we'll come back to you, Bob. You'll introduce the team that you've worked with, and then we will listen to the message from Baba that is being conveyed by the two leaders. So, Kasue, makofi kwake. Do you think he also needs a baptism? Does he need a baptism? Is he converted? He's converted. Sawa sawa.
Thank you, Senator. Appreciate that. You know, one of the things we miss very much is our inability to inject our women in business in these kind of settings. My co-host happened to be Lily. She'll take it over from here. She has a short message, short presentation from our incoming MP from Kitutu Masaba. He wanted to do a short presentation. Lily.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I think men have been dominating the conversation tonight. I think the governors, you can see there is a lack of balance here. And we need, I will sit there, but that will be me, only me seated there. So we need more seats to be taken by ladies as well. Tukiwa ni 50, kuna 50 ingine hapo. Until hebu tuchunie kidogo, hapa kuna kama tunalala kidogo. Azimio, nani akiendelea kuweka huko Azimio? Sasa unajua hapa, we are more than, wakati nilikuwa shule, we were like 42 tribes. Now I think tunaenda 49, kesho itakuwa ni 50. So you know the language you speak better. So when I say Azimio, sasa wewe ongea ile yako. Azimio! Yani nyi wote ni Waswahili hapa. Azimio! Exactly, you hear that. So when you go, you can do that until 1 minute. 1 minute. Yeah. Hey, can you stand up? Just 1 minute. Woo! Yeah, namna hiyo. Haya basi, chunia hapo. Sasa tukiendelea hapa, tuko na balozi hapa, is our young leader, aspiring to be one of the tough guys around. And he has something to say. By the way, he's a medical practitioner. So governors, tunajua our nurses having a problem back in Kenya, they will be taken care of. Hebu tuambie tufanye namna gani? Karibu.
Asante sana. Nikisema Azimio tunasema? Nikisema Azimio tunasema? Nikisema Diaspora mnasema power. Nikisema Diaspora mnasema? Azimio! Azimio! Diaspora! Diaspora! Your Excellencies, asanteni sana. Thank you, the organizing committees, for this wonderful meeting tonight. My name is, like you have heard, Balozi Walter Mwenga, aspiring Member of Parliament, Kitutu Masaba. I'm going to be very brief because of time. Diaspora as a constituency, we are preaching because I was fortunate to be with the team in Washington, D.C. A lot was said. You have heard a lot, Your Excellency, Governor OPARANYA, Ongwae, and our brother Kajwang. The message is the same. The passion is there. What Diaspora is asking, number one, is representation. And number two is engagement in areas of industry and job creation back home, among other things. Hayo ndio mambo tunataka kutekeleza. But when we talk about representation, Your Excellencies, we also want you guys to factor in diaspora candidates. Hamba namna gani? Because what we don't have in the national government and in the local governments are diaspora liaisons. Si namna hiyo? So we want elected officials to go and legislate on diaspora. We also want appointed officials, like Chairman said, to be able to address the issues of diaspora. If we remit over $350 billion, siyo pesa ni mingi? Simulisikia mheshimiwa alisema hapa we can even operate our own county. Ama namna gani? You know the Kisii community, and you might forgive me, Governor OPARANYA. We have done so well that Ongwae was even given central bank in Kisii. Ama namna gani? And when His Excellency OPARANYA was challenging me in Washington why there's so many Kisiis, I told him, but Ongwae started this work a very long time ago. Sasa kazi Ongwae amebakisha ni kuweka balozi as member of parliament from Kitutu Masaba. Na nyinyi simpige makofi. Sasa governor ataonaje mimi ni kijana wa nguvu msiponipatia nguvu? Your Excellency, hiyo sio maneno yangu, hata wewe unaona wananchi wamekubali. The way we do it the Texas way. I want to finish at that. We have a Texas way of welcoming our visitors. Sinamna hiyo? We are the Lone Star State, ile state ya cowboys. Mheshimiwa hapa ndio ile state ya George Bush, ile state ya all these billionaires, na hii ndio state ya Balozi Walter Mwenga. Simpige makofi. Si nimesema billionaires, si hata balozi yako hapo ndani. So from Dallas we are presenting actually more than 3 gentlemen who are vying for elective positions in Kenya. Tuko na jamaa mmoja kutoka Western, huyo ni kijana ya OPARANYA. Asimame apigiwe makofi. Basi. Na huyu atakaribisha governor wake in special way, ndio akifika huko governor anajua huyu ni kijana wa cowboys. Mpige wapi paparazi? Where is the cameraman? Aya. Your Excellency, utasimama so that utakuja mbele ndio. Yes. Yeah, come here so that you can be crowned. The cowboy official, the official cowboy from Kakamega. Penda pale mbele. Piga makofi. Hai. Cameraman uko tayari? Wapi ile lero ni lero bana? DJ. DJ.
Thank you. It's now the opportunity for our own Balozi to also do the same, exactly what he has done to our chairman, the former chairman of the Governors of Council, and he will do to our own son, none other than our Governor, Elvis Omaliba Ongwae. Makofi ya Elvis. DJ, hold on. Lazima msimame kwa Elvis. Hii lazima msimame. Hakuna ujanja. DJ, tupe kitu, tupe hiyo ngoma ya Elvis. Hii kitu alianza yeye mapema. Yes. Good. Very good. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Asante sana. Karibuni sana. Welcome to Texas. Texas is a state that loves Kenya, and we are ready to work for Kenya. Thank you very much.
Asante sana Balozi. Congratulations, Your Excellencies. Now we turn time to our visitors to really respond to the message.
Thank you so much. Omwenga, thank you, and I wish you well. You know, Omwenga is the kind of guy you invite him to a party, and then he takes all the girls you are interested in. So I see he's taken over this event, and you are doing a great job as a diplomat. I've seen a lot of familiar faces around. In fact, last night when we were in Minnesota, I've seen a friend of mine who was the vice chair of Kenyans in Minnesota just stand up and wave Wycliffe Chakwa. That young man was my classmate. He does not represent my age. I think I'm younger than him. But it's nice to see you. I've got a lot of friends also who we were in school with and are here. And a lot of people who I know from family connections, people I know from political connections and all that. Chairman Nyangweso. We were also on the other side, and we met members of your family, and they told us that you're going to take very good care of us. I'd like to take this opportunity to allow you to introduce the people you've worked with to put all this together before we get to the high table.
Azimio. Azimio. Yeah, thank you very much, the governors, for paying us a visit here in Dallas. We are very honored for the occasion and for the possibility of you coming to speak Baba's word to us. This has been a journey. It's been difficult, hard work organizing all these people. You know, everybody in Dallas is very busy with work, business. So it was a difficult journey organizing this event. And of course, you know, we don't like too much limelight, so we're here just to do the work. Senator Kajuang, welcome to Dallas. It took us a few weeks to get this event rolling. I was supposed to give the Diaspora message, but of course we have a UDA person, convert to Azimio. We had to give him the opportunity. So you're honored to come to Azimio. Yes. So, of course, we're here. You know, if you know, you help me build the team, organize this event. Please stand up, and then, of course, I'll introduce you guys to the public. So please, team members, please, amukeni kama munaweza haraka haraka. All right. Oh, we have, of course, over there, Bwana Kasue, East African Chamber owner. Then, of course, Lily Ongaki. We have Mr. Tongi over here, Daktari Atandi. Oh, my friend Ezra. Easy Drain. This guy is an inventor. Please talk to the governors before they leave so that they know what you can bring over to their counties. Mr. Edgar Lumbasio. And of course, Mike, the man himself, Ngwai. And of course, Silfano Ayayo, Lydia Tate. I don't know how to introduce her, my better half. She'll introduce herself. And of course, Mrs. Ben Onguta. And of course, Terry Onguta. So I just call her Mrs. Ben. And of course, Balozi over here, Balozi. So we, as you can see, we had a great team. You know, I've been in certain committees that don't work. You know, people are just there as a name in the committee. This is a working committee that delivers message or delivers the work to the people. So I just want to say thank you. I just want to reiterate what the mayor of Dallas said. Those are the message we want for you guys to pass to Baba. And we are honored to have you all here. Thank you very much. Senator.
I'm told Bob is a banker. Is he not? Yeah, so he's very short of words, but long on cash. He's actually the one who paid the bills for our lunch. And he says he's paying the bills for our drinks later on. And he's inviting all the Kenyans to have all the drinks that they want. But knowing bankers, you might be kule tunasema unaweza chonga waru. Yeah, they might leave you on your own. I want us to go to the next level, but the Spirit is talking to me. The Spirit is talking to me. Can I hear hallelujah? The Spirit is talking to me that tonight someone needs to be baptized. That tonight someone needs to see the light. That tonight we need to bring someone into Azimio. That tonight Baba's kingdom should swell. That tonight Alex shall be part of that kingdom. That tonight Tongi shall be part of that kingdom. And that tonight Governor OPARANYA yuko na kazi. Si umepewa kofia ya cowboy? Mimi nakupatia hii kofia yangu, nataka kupatia watu wawili. Nataka Alex akuje hapa, Tongi akuje hapa, tuwavalishe waingie Azimio formally. Unajua kule kwetu Cyprian Awiti anasemanga awacho kosoka wacho. Awacho kosoka wacho. Now, Alex kuja, Tongi kuja hapa. Hatuchezi. Sisi tulikuja, we came to convert people. We just did not come here kuchapa story. Sasa Governor Ongwae, hii kofia yako ya Azimio, we shall donate it. Ongwae OPARANYA hapa. Mpiga picha hapa. Alafu sasa tunataka tuwakaribishe hawa marafiki wetu formally because they have seen the light. Si wamesema wao wenyewe ama na wawekelea. Si wamesema wao wenyewe that the next president of the Republic of Kenya is Raila Odinga. Na wamesema kwamba wanakubaliana na policy ya Azimio na Raila Odinga. So acha tuwakaribishe formally and properly. I know their heart has always been with us and this is just symbolic. Hata wewe kama umesikia umeguswa na unahitaji kuletwa hapa. So iko mwingine? Captain. The Spirit is talking to us. Aya, sasa party leader do the recitation as you welcome them formally to Azimio.
I, Wycliffe Ambassador OPARANYA, Chairman of Azimio Coalition Party, hereby admit you in the party as a full member, having crossed wherever you are to Azimio. God help you. Aya, wengine sasa nitaweka tu. Tongi, wewe ndio wa pili. Wewe keti hapa katikati. Wewe sasa kirasmi umeingia Azimio, si ndio? Na tunakukaribisha kwa Azimio. Ukitoka hapa uongee mambo ya Baba. Mwenyezi Mungu akusaidie. Na wewe move hapa. Let me borrow yours. Nitakurudishia. Wewe pia na kukaribisha katika chama chetu cha coalition, Azimio Coalition Party One Kenya, si ndio? Nataka sasa saa hii kutoka leo uongee mambo ya Baba na Mungu akusaidie. Haya, sawa, karibu.
Sasa sijui kama nyinyi ni Wakristo. Huwa nikisema haleluya unasema nini? You know, even ministry is only sweet when you convert some souls. Those of us who are members of the Adventist Church, every other time you are told kama umeshikwa na roho kuja hapa mbele. Lakini huwa naona ni wamama ndio huwa wanakuja mbele. But that problem is not just in the Adventist Church, even in the Catholic Church. When the father calls out that it is time for Holy Communion, and then they put a provision that first inspect yourself, first make sure that you are clean and holy and all those things. And men never show up. Because the previous night they were drinking in shebens, they were doing all sorts of things that are ungodly and adulterous, so they never partake. But for the three that have been introduced, I think it's a light moment, but it's also a very serious moment. The three gentlemen who have been inducted into Azimio in that symbolic manner are thought leaders in the diaspora. You are people who, even though we sit in Kenya, we hear about you, we know of you, and we hear your views. You see, at the end of the day, the question is, when you come to the US, the people of Texas, do they care whether you are Luo or Kikuyu? Do they care whether you are Kalenjin or Kamba? In fact, they lump us all in one basket. Do they even care whether you are Kenyan or Nigerian? Because at the end of the day, we are all Africans. So why would we have all these divisions back at home? If we are going to have differences in ideology and perception, let it not be on the basis of tribe, and let it not be on the basis of race. Let it be on the basis of what we set out to offer Kenyans. Before I call Governor Ongwae, let me just address two issues. Because yes, we are inducting people into Azimio, though symbolically, because I know that these three gentlemen, their heart has always been towards a Kenya that is prosperous, and a Kenya that can accommodate all of us, and a Kenya where we can raise our children. Let me just talk about one or two things that Raila Odinga is talking about, just to confirm that we are in the right house. Number one is on devolution. As was said by Senator Lekina, I'm the chairman of the Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations Committee of the Senate. I have previously chaired the Public Accounts and Investments Committee of the Senate. I am with two gentlemen who have been very steadfast when it comes to protection of devolution. One, a former chair of the Council of Governors, and the other, a current vice chair of the Council of Governors. Incidentally, there are also two of the gentlemen who I like to call success stories of devolution, because with 47 counties, Kakamega and Kisii have got a few positive things that we can talk about to tell people that devolution is actually working. Devolution has a few issues that we need to address. Number one is the issue of structure. We have 47 counties. How did we end up with 47 counties? What was the basis? Why do you have Nyamira and Kisii? Why do you have Homa Bay and Migori? Why do you have Tharaka Nithi? Why do you have all those small, counties? Why do we have Lamu as a county? At some point, our party leader had toyed with the idea of taking us back to the Bomas draft. The Bomas draft was about having fewer counties, consolidating for economies of scale. But then we realized that these counties are the source of livelihood for many people. People already employed, but more importantly, having a county close to you meant that the spirit and principle of subsidiarity could be accomplished or could be realized. Everyone wanted the county headquarters and county services close to them. Raila Odinga is not going to fold counties. He is going to emphasize on regional economic blocks. In Western Kenya, we have the Lake Region Economic Bloc, chaired by Governor OPARANYA, and also Governor Ongwae is an active member of that. We want to encourage regional economic blocks for synergies, for economies of scale, so that if it is Western Kenya, for example, if it is fisheries, it can be a joint effort by the counties that surround Lake Victoria. If it is the sugar industry, it can be a joint effort by the counties that do sugarcane. If it is a cotton industry, it can be a joint effort. That is one commitment Raila Odinga has made. Number 2 is on funding. As the chair of Public Accounts Committee, probably some of you saw me online in that capacity. And you probably saw me almost fighting with these 2 governors in front of us. We are saying, and that gentleman must have missed his flight, and I think it's a good thing. Makofi kwa Senator Ledamo Lekin. And I think whoever prayed to that God that made him miss his flight, please introduce me to that church and to that God. And we kept your seat for you while you're away. We are glad you are here. I know we can still do what we didn't do today, tomorrow. So I was talking about financing. The Constitution has put the minimum as 15%. Raila Odinga says we increase it to 35%. So that we have adequate resources. We have adequate resources to provide some of those services that we want at county level. Be it health, be it trade, be it roads, be it water, be it agriculture. We have a big plan on devolution, and since the 2 governors are here, I probably should allow them, because they have hands-on experience on devolution, to talk about it. But let me talk about youth, because while we were in Minnesota, we were asked, what plan do you have for the youth? Everyone says they have a plan for the youth, and some say their plan is bottoms up. Some say their plan is wheelbarrows. And some say their plans are Stone Age implements. No one seems to have a clear idea on how we are going to empower the youth in Kenya. I said it yesterday, that the problems of the youth in Kenya are the problems of the nation. And there are problems of unemployment, there are problems of inequality. For us to solve those problems, we must grow our economy, and we must unleash the productivity of the economy of Kenya. Of course, when we grow the economy, economic growth goes with inequality. It is inequality that Raila Odinga has been talking about, providing some preferential treatment to youth. For example, access to credit. For example, access to education loans. That's treatment for inequality. But the real solution to the problems of the youth is to build an economy, is to unleash productivity, is to ensure that there are jobs for all the young people in the Republic of Kenya. You here, and I want to, as I finalize, give an example. East Africa Chamber of Commerce. Why is it that we don't have a lot of American SMEs doing business in Kenya? Why? I don't know whether you've asked yourselves that. Some of you work for those organizations. Why can't you come to Kenya? Let me give you one example. There is a company that has come to do commercial fish cage farming in Lake Victoria. It is an American company. It is called Victory Farms. Victory Farms, in about 3 years of operation, is doing a revenue of 3 billion Kenya shillings. A gross revenue of 3 billion Kenya shillings. Victory Farms is employing 800 people, most of them women. And do you know why it's mostly women? Because when it comes to scaling the fish, the Luo men do not want to do that job because they think it is a job for women. And so the women are more empowered. They go to work. At the end of the day, the women have got 600 Kenya shillings, more than the men can make, because the men are making 200 Kenya shillings out of border business. We want you to help us to unlock US investors to come to Africa, to come to Kenya, to create those job opportunities. It is not just a matter for the governors, for Raila Odinga, and for the government. At the end of the day, using your connections, using your experience, and using your skills, can we tap the private sector in the US to come and unlock opportunities in Africa? I would have said a lot of things about the digital economy, but we must make doing business with government not as painful as it is today. Renewal of passports, renewal of government documents, registration of SIM cards, issues of title deeds. I'm glad Ledama has come back, because while you're away, a Maasai man was accused of conning some Americans in diaspora about 100 million shillings. You see, we digitized land records in And you know, Alex, you needed to be careful. Because not everyone with a shuka is a Maasai. We have seen that in Mombasa. He could not, but he was wearing a shuka. And he was standing on one leg like this. The sanctity of titles, digitization of land records has begun. Raila Odinga has said he is going to employ technologies like blockchain to ensure that there is integrity of land titles in the Republic of Kenya. You know, I don't want to do a long lecture, because if I start speaking about these things, I'm so passionate about the next government. I'm so confident about the next government. I am so confident that Kenya can be as great as Vietnam in terms of manufacturing, that Kenya can be as great as the United Arab Emirates in terms of services, that Kenya can be as great as Rwanda is trying to be in terms of logistics and services. Why should we, and as I call the other governors, last time I was flying to Abuja, I couldn't fly Kenya Airways, I was flying Rwanda Air. Rwanda, that tiny country in the middle of Africa, is striving to be the Amazon of Africa, and yet Kenya has got that potential and that capacity. I am confident that with the Raila Odinga presidency, is going to do the necessary linkages to ensure that Kenya maintains its position as the logistics hub of East Africa. Governor Ongwae, the floor is yours. And when you are done, you can use your discretion to call Senator Olekina if you deem it fit, but otherwise you'll then invite the deputy party leader of ODM.
Thank you very much, my brother. Azimio, hebu niwasikie, najua mmechoka. Azimio, inawezekana. Munasema the fifth. Inawezekana. The fifth. Munasema Raila Odinga. The fifth. Ndugu zangu mpo? Asante sana. My brother Alex, my brother Benson, Bob, naona mzee Machani huko, and all my brothers here. I'm really very happy myself, and the reception that you people have given us. For those of you who don't know, Governor, I have a sister here and I have a brother in this room. This is the first time, especially the sister, I've seen her after a very long time. So ladies and gentlemen, for me, as a governor from Kisii County, and also as a vice chair of the Council of Governors, and also as a vice chair of the Lake Region Economic Bloc, for which he is a chair, I have come here bringing a son from Nyanza that we want to be, that we are saying, and that the country is now accepting that is going to be the 5th president of the Republic of Kenya. Tunasemaje? Tunasemaje? Thank you very much. We are dealing here, and I want to make my story very short, because we came here about Raila Odinga. This is a man who has fought for democracy in Kenya. We know what happened in 2007. We know what happened in 2013. We know what happened in 2017. But we do know that God's time has reached. But we also know that God helps those who help themselves. And that's why we've come here to talk to you, and I'm very excited about my brothers and sisters here in Texas, that you are supporting the Azimio movement. For us, Raila fought for devolution. We would not be having devolution without Raila in Kenya. He fought for devolution. For those of you who don't know, the other man did not fight for devolution. In fact, he was against it. So we are dealing here with somebody who fought for devolution. We are dealing here with a person who has got a 10-point agenda that is looking at devolution issues, and my chair here, Governor OPARANYA, will go through the 10-point agenda of our president, of our 5th president. So ladies and gentlemen, we've just come to tell you I'm also a member of the board that is looking at the coming elections. we have come here to tell you that our next president has got good ideas for you. He has good ideas for devolution. And for those of you who want to know what happens on the ground, those of you who come from Kisii, and I know that there are quite a number of you here, those of you, for instance, who saw Kisii town the way it was before devolution and the way it is now, you can agree that what Raila fought for has brought a lot of development at the local level. So ndugu zanguni, ile tu mimi naweza kuambia. Najua amukushika kura. Kura US yote mzima ni watu 700. Hapa pengine mulishika only 200. But we do understand why, because Washington was too far for you. And that's why when we were in Washington, when this issue was raised, Raila said very clearly that one of the first things he will do are the necessary consulates that you people are talking about here, whether it is in here in Dallas, whether it is in where we've just come from. I think about 3 or 4 of them. And he agreed on that. But then there's quite a lot you can do. I was talking with you, David, and I was telling you that the best that you can do, if you did not get your vote, then for God's sake, ensure that you are home in Kenya, either in June or the very latest in July. And I know all of you can afford it. And I know that you have a lot of say when you go back home because of the resources that you are sending back home. So all that we are asking you is, if you are not able to come back to Kenya, then make sure that you talk with your brothers and sisters in Kenya and tell them that the Third Republic can only occur with Raila Amolo Odinga. And we are asking you therefore that please do all that you can. Ila ambao mnaweza kufanya, murudi nyumbani, ama muongee na ndugu zetu huko nyumbani. Wale ambao mnapiga Kisii, muongee Kisii. Wale mnapiga Kijaluo, kama Bob hapa, mpige hiyo Kijaluo. Piga simu nyumbani. So ladies and gentlemen, I really don't want to talk too much, but just to tell you that issues that Baba talks about are better Kenya. Issues of corruption. Complete zero tolerance to corruption. And he has also said that the bulk of the money that he would use, especially for Baba Care, for the 6,000 that he is going to give out, all that money is available because all that money is stolen, and is stolen by some of these people who are actually telling us lies. So ladies and gentlemen, ndugu zetu ambao mko hapa US, you are people of endeavor. Nyinyi watu mnajitafutia. You have come all the way here because you have endeavor. And because of that, we really respect you. And that's why we said, hata kama kulikuwa na shida nyumbani na baba alirudi, sisi tukasema lazima tufike hapa Dallas. So for those who didn't come here, because I know that they are working hard, even if we found us, even if you were even 3 people, we would have sent you to the brothers and sisters who are here for you to send that message. So ladies and gentlemen, I can only thank you. For those who come from Kisii, I want to tell you that as part of Devolution, we are putting a cancer center there. It's going to be the 3rd biggest cancer center, I think, in the country. We got about 1.2 billion shillings from the Arab Bank for International Development because we had done a concept paper. We now, for the ladies who are here, we have put in place a mother child, 350 beds. A serious mother child for 350 beds, which is also going to be operational shortly. We have Central Bank. Who is that who said about Central Bank in Kisii? Balozi, you forgot to say that we also now have State House in Kisii. We also now have State House in Kisii and very many other things. And that is because of devolution. So ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to invite my brother, the governor for Kakamega, Dr. Wycliffe Ambessa OPARANYA, is also the chair emeritus of the Council of Governors.
Asanteni sana. Tuketi. Wale ambao wamesimama. Haya. Tunasema Kenya. Huyo na Musindi. Musindi anatoka kule Kakamega. Mahali inaitwa Shinyalu. Wale wako Kakamega wanatoka Kakamega wanajua. Wenyu hata. Haya. Anajua huyo Musindi. Bas, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. You know, this is my first time to come here. My colleague here, Ongwae, has been here severally, but he had a purpose of coming here severally. You have heard he has a brother, he has a sister. Me, I have nobody, I was born alone. So, so he had a purpose. But ladies and gentlemen, my name is Wycliffe Ambessa OPARANYA. I'm the first governor of Kakamega County, but before I became governor, I've been a member of parliament for Butere constituency. Those who come from those sides know where Butere constituency is, where Martin Shikuku used to come from before he passed on. And then I was also Minister for Planning during Nusumukate government of the late Mwai Kibaki. Being a Minister for Planning, it gave me an opportunity to come here in the US, but I restricted myself to Washington and New York. That's where we had most of the activities. But this time, I had the opportunity to come now beyond Washington and New York. Baba was also supposed to come. But unfortunately, you understand what happened. He had to go back yesterday, but one. In fact, he arrived today morning. He's arriving tomorrow morning, because he had to connect through Dubai. So he will be there tomorrow morning to attend the funeral of Mwai Kibaki, both at Nyayo Stadium and at his home in Nyeri. So he had to cut short his trip. All in all, we are here. We have been with Baba all this time. As you are told, I'm his deputy in the biggest party. ODM, you know, is a very big, the oldest party at the moment that we have. The older ones like Kanu, you know, they have Shirang. They have very few members, but they are old. But for ODM, it has been there over 20 years. It was established in 2005. I was one of the signatories of that time when we were establishing the party. I was member number 7. So I have been close to Baba since that time, 2004, up to now. Wamalwa Kijana is the one who took me to politics, but unfortunately, after a short time in parliament with him, he passed on. So that was my mentor, initial mentor, and then I moved now to Raila, and we have been together up to this moment. We came here just to share what is happening in the country. But let me tell you, this has been a journey that Papa started sometimes 2 years ago. When people went to him and said, we want again you to be president, he told them, you know, I have tried to be president 4 times, but I have not managed to get it. And then maybe through his own wisdom, he decided, why can't I go for the handshake? Some of us were against the handshake. Having gone through all we went through during 2007, 2013, and 2017. And we thought we could fight it out this time. But in one of the sittings, when we were with Baba, and we told him, why did you go for handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta? He told us that, you know, siasa is like football match. We have been in the league, and usually the European League is very popular in Kenya. You find many people are watching the European League than even the local league. So after every season, after the end of every season, you break maybe for two months, and then you start the new league. During that time, as a team, you have to evaluate yourself and see as we go for the next league season, how do we prepare ourselves? And that time, there is a lot of shopping around, which was the best team in that team that we can take over, so that we strengthen our own team. And that's how he thought that I must look for one of the best players in the other team. And he found that best player was Uhuru Kenyatta to come to his team so that he can now win in the next season. When he said that, had we an answer? Because he had not got it for 4 times. So this is now the time. And hopeful, with now Uhuru in our team, Baba is going to get it. Well. And because of that, we went around the country, said, I want actually to talk to Kenyans. And Kenyans themselves should tell me if I should go for presidency. And we moved around the country. During that time, there was COVID-19. But we could go, then the government could come with regulation, we stop, and so on. Until wherever we went, we had about 21 meetings with Wananchi in the entire country. They said, go for it. So we ended up at Nyayo International Stadium on 10th of December, when all Kenyans met there and said, go for it. And that time, he came out with 10-point agenda, where my friend James has mentioned the 4-point agenda. I don't want to go through them. But in general terms, Azimio is a resolution for Kenyans to be together. Resolution in Swahili is Azimio, kuwa pamoja. Kuleta wa Kenya pamoja, the 42 tribes. Raila's mellowed. It's not the Raila you used to see in the 70s and 80s. He has mellowed because he says he wants to leave a legacy for our country. At his age, he's not looking for wealth. At his age, he has been in politics, he has sacrificed, he is the one who brought the multi-party, you remember. He was detained for 8 years. He came out there, he fought for devolution, and devolution is now working. And he said, as I exit, I must now leave a legacy. And that's why now he has decided that as I exit, I must leave one Kenya, one people. So tuko pamoja. And I'm happy that some of you are realizing this. And that's why we had defections. We call it defections. Today, because they have realized. And these issues is yet to come up with a very comprehensive manifesto. It's being worked on. We are hopeful that in 2 weeks it will be there. But the 10-point agenda summarizes some of the issues that will be in his own manifesto. So you as Kenyans, you are here. Some of you are here because you like being here. Some of you are forced to be here by circumstances because of less opportunity, employment or business opportunity in our own country. Given a choice, some of you might go back. Some of you might make a decision to stay here, maybe because of the standard of living that we are enjoying here. But we are saying that as those who decide to go out of the country and carry on their own businesses, they must have something at home when they decide to come back home. That has been the major issue. These issues that you have raised here, ladies and gentlemen, we were in Washington. I remember when I was a minister, I used to come to New York. We were in Minnesota yesterday. The story is the same. But what is critical, that as you play a very important role in the economy of our country, through remedials that you carry out, and you have been told the figures, you can even run the 47 counties that we have through your own contribution. It is critical that you have a say. And that say cannot just come the way you are talking. You must be together. Unless you come together, the entire, those who are outside, not from US only, but even in Europe, there are quite a number of Kenyans. How can you come together? Already I can see you have a representative here. This representative and a representative in another town, a representative in Europe can come together. And you agitate for what you want. Otherwise, you said you talk to Huru here, as a president, you will have so many things coming to you that unless you have someone to remind you that, remember, you promised people in Texas, this is what you promised them, you have not fulfilled them, you will not remember. Because there are so many issues when you are a president. But I remember in Washington, already the former prime minister has promised as soon as he forms government, he will have a cabinet minister who will be responsible for the diaspora. But as he does that, you need someone in parliament who will represent your interests. And with all this money that you send home, why can't you sponsor someone to go in parliament? Yeah? Yeah? How can you do it? I have told him that to be an MP is not an easy work. He can't be here by now if he wants to be a member of parliament. If he wants to be a member of parliament. Because where we were, there were quite a number of them. There were about 6. And I asked them, when were they last at home? They told me 3 months ago. And one of them told me, I have tried 3 times until I have now given up. Wewe kuja karibu tukuambie ukitaka kupata hii kiti vile utafanya. Lakini hii ya kuongea mkiwa hapa kwa mdomo, jameni, hamwezi kupata. Saa hii watu wanakimbia kule. Saa hii nikiongea hapa. Watu wanakimbia nomination, yeye amepata free. Ila anaitiwa tu, ndio hii pewa. Hiyo haitusaidii wewe. It's always better to fight for it. And then wananchi wataona hii huyu hatupekania, lakini ile umepewa, alafu umeweka mfuko. Hiyo sawa. You must fight for it. Even me, when I wanted to become governor, I was told I'm being given a free nomination. I told them, no, they are competitors. I had 2 competitors who wanted to be governor like me. Let's go for nomination. Wapikiwe kura, wananchi wakidecide ni hao. Wakasema, no, you are a deputy party leader. We must give you nomination direct. I told them I don't want nomination direct. I went for it and I won it. That's how I build support from the grassroots. And that's what you want. Lakini mtu huko juu anakuitia hiyo sahau. Anakuitia ni yeye hana watu, ni yeye anakuitia tu kwa sababu anataka wewe ukue hapo ndio uangalie. Lakini mujue shida zetu, our problem emanated from corruption that we have in the country. Hiyo corruption imekuwa saidi. Saa hii mnalia mambo ya fraud ya shamba. And the case has taken how many years? Can you imagine which case that will take 7 years when facts are known that you are conned? Because the same money you are conned is being used in the judiciary to frustrate your effort. And the case will go on until some of you die and you forget about it. Your children will not be able even to follow it. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I can plead with you, that let us move together as Kenyans. And the fact that Uhuru has accepted, and Uhuru has said, and I can even be quoted, leadership in this country, it cannot be for 2 tribes. Because in the end, we are going to have a problem. We are brewing something. Leadership cannot be rotating between Kikuyu and Kalenjin. Let us give other tribes an opportunity for next 20 years, and then it can revert if necessary. Yes. And I'm saying here, because I know Kikuyus are here, Kalenjins are here, but we are all Kenyans. And that's why Uhuru decided to support Raila Odinga. But remember in Luhya, and he has said this from my home, in Luhya, when you marry a lady, ladies are here, that has come from another husband, another man, huyo bwana hajakufa, lakini yeye yuko. Kwa Waluhya, tuna question mark hapo. Ule ambaye bwana yake amekufa, huyo ni sawa sawa. Lakini ule amewacha bwana na hujui aliwacha bwana kwa nini. Na wewe ndio unakimbilia. Siku moja utajuta. Sasa hii marriage ya between president na deputy, mwingine amekimbia. Hujui anakimbia kwa nini. Na wewe unakimbilia. Siku moja utajuta. There must be a reason. Because these people used to be very close, 2 of them. But Uhuru has never disclosed, and he said he will do it at the right time, while the divorce is there. Na wewe hujui, unakimbili, angalia kabisa. Kwa sababu bwana yake hajakufa, bwana yake bado yuko. So mama mko hapa mnasikia? Ni pia the same way to a man. Mama usikimbilie ule mzee ambaye amefukuza bibi yake. Kama amefukuza bibi yake, pia wewe anaweza kufanya nini? Kufukuza wewe kama umbwa. Vile alifukuza ule mwingine. Lakini kama bwana yake, bibi yake amekufa, huyo ni afadhali. Kwa sababu unajua kukufa ni kitu ya kawaida. Bibi yake amefanya nini? Amekufa. So it's the same way. So what I can plead with you Kenyans, that this is the time. Raila Odinga is 77 years. 77 this year. 77. Hata ukifika 77, sasa mali unatafuta utafanyia nini? Hiyo ni bonus tu, kwa sababu ukipita miaka 70, hiyo ni yeah. Wacha tumsaidie, kwa sababu hana tamaa kama ile ya vijana. And that's why we are having a problem na watu wengine, hawa watu tunao shida kwa sababu ya hiyo. So ningemwomba tu, kwa sababu you could not get more votes, register as voters because of we are told distance. Obviously we appreciate that. To go to Washington, you spend your fare. Sometimes you don't get the registration that particular day. You have to stay in a hotel. That is cumbersome. But you have influence where you come from. You can call home and say, our man is Raila Odinga. Pass. And we shall come back here. I cannot tell you that he will be here before the elections, because there is pressure at home. But I will make sure that when we win an election, I will remind him what he said in Washington, that you promised to take care of the people in the diaspora because they are playing a very important role in our country, and not only US, but the entire world. We have Kenyans everywhere I go. You find there are Kenyans there. And they are playing a very important role. And it's good that as Kenyans, we also appreciate you that you are able to come out here, set businesses, and some are very big businesses, and you are respected. Otherwise, thank you very much for your time. Asante sana. MP.
Now, it's all... makofi kwa Governor Oparanya tafadhali. Asante sana, Governor Oparanya. If we can agree that we can be here by 10, because we flew 26 hours to come here, and it is not just enough for us to speak and leave. If there could be any burning question or reaction that warrants the response of the gentleman in front, we can agree we take 3 at most. 3 at most. And then after that, we'll have responses, and then after that, Bob will do the vote of thanks. So, Balozi, nisaidie kwa hayo 3. Let's make them 3. Yeah, for the last year.
Okay.
So run right.
Thank you and good evening. Everybody has spoken very well, very happy with the agenda. But I have not had anyone specifically address what is there for women. You talked about all these things about the youth, but what is the agenda for women? We see women going through a lot of things. Women are dying. There's a lot of domestic violence going on. What is the next government going to do to empower women?
I think we will take 3 questions. We'll take 3 questions and then they'll respond.
Oh, my name is David Nyameno. I am glad you are all here. I have comments more than questions. The comment I will give is that we are a family, all of us, and we are all Kenyans, and we can vote. I want to vote, as I told Governor Ongwae, by the end of June, I'll be in Kenya supporting Baba and voting. I'll vote every 5 years in Kenya myself. Now, having said that, there is a comment I wanted to give about how we can be involved in Kenya because we love Kenya. The first thing we talked about is, can we open desks at the county level? Please, it was promised, it has not been done. Anytime this community here will want to come home, they can't access you. When you leave and go back, it's difficult to access any governor at home. Kindly do that, I'm reiterating on that. Number 2, the issue of youth. We can actually help the youth by working from here. I'll just give an example that right now we are mentoring the youth in Kenya, and we need you to work with us. The direct involvement when we live here, who do we see to help the youth to prosper? That's what I wanted to say. But finally, how can we add value on food security? Food issue is really a serious business. There is insecurity in Kenya. How can we add value? We cannot rely on maize and wheat. Right now, Ukraine is in war, and we can't get wheat, and we only produce 30% of our requirements. How can we turn our traditional foods and add value to them so that we can have more food secure as a country? Thank you.
I think they can take those questions. It's women, youth, and food security. Captain, eh? One more? Okay, Captain.
Thank you so much. First point for me is an appeal to us who are here in diaspora. We must have one voice. We must be organized. We have organizations, East African Chamber of Commerce. We have the Diaspora Council. If we are not participating and organizing ourselves, we cannot communicate. So that is our first challenge. And please, let us be organized and be active about it. For the guests, I'm looking at organizing export of labor from Kenya to the US. And I'm not talking about draining the skilled labor in Kenya. We are looking at unskilled labor. How can we be helpful to the Kenyans who are in Kenya to be able to have or secure employment here? Because America, there's a lot of deficit of employees employees, yes, in the US, and some of us are organizing to make sure that we get access to the unskilled labor from Kenya to here. And if you can help us to get that access, we are willing to do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you very much for those questions. And I remember very well I said I had 10-point agenda, which had fairly been mentioned by my colleagues, so I didn't want to repeat. But this issue of women is agenda number 4 in the 10-point agenda. And I remember one of the meetings, Raila himself said that he's considering having half-half cabinet, half 50% women and 50% men. And that would be a big achievement for women. And he clearly said that actually the people who should be respected first are the women. Because men, and I remember I have to quote him, men do their work for a second. But mama ndio analinda mtoto 9 months, and then anaendelea kulinda mtoto hii miaka yote mpaka mtoto afike miaka 4 ndio aende shule ni ma. So that is someone that should be looked after first. And that's what the terms he used. Secondly, he has a special program for single mothers. Those who have lost their husbands, those who are divorced or separated with their partners, and those who are just single. Wale wanakuja, we stay, tunapendana na mtoto anatoka. Na hapo na kijana anafanya nini? Anatoroka. Anasema unajua sasa papa yangu amesema mimi mpato kijana, sasa wewe uwezi kuja kuishi kwetu hivyo hivyo. So he has a special program. And if you listen to him, he keeps on saying that. With those focus, with those 3 areas focused on, I think he will have taken care of the women interest. On the issue of security, food security is point number 7. And food security is also the agenda, one of the 4 agenda of the current president. And he has said clearly that he will continue with what the current government is doing, because they have worked together with the Uhuru. Whether it is a policy, whether it's a project, he will make sure he continues with that work. And food security is among them. The other day we went to campaign in Turkana, and we saw Turkana people who have not eaten, who are emaciated, and these are Kenyans who cannot get water. They have to walk 20 kilometers, imagine, to look for water. They go for 20 kilometers. By the time they come back, part of the water they have drunk is halfway by the time they reach home. This is happening in other parts of the country. So he has said that to enhance food security, the government must start irrigation projects. It must make sure that water is available to our people. That is one of the agenda issues. On the youth, he even promised that there will be a ministry for youth affairs that will be there to take the interests of the youth. But what was critical, that the youth must be supported to start business. And there will be loans available to them from the government. And when they are given those loans, they will be given a grace period of 7 years. 7 grace period before they start paying the loans. And those loans will be interest-free. So that has clearly been said, and that takes care. If there is a ministry that focuses on the issues of youth affairs, and then there are other interventions, like them being given loans, expanding the help so that most of them have access to education. That is, I think, an appropriate focus on youth affairs. Unless you have a question, but these are some of the things that I will have gone through, but because of time, I thought, unless you have something.
Probably there is the issue of desks at the county level. And David, this is logical. And I think it should have happened with most of the counties. I'll give you my experience. I got somebody from the diaspora, actually made him a diaspora coordinator, and the man came back here and left that desk. And you know the process of recruiting, because he was properly recruited by the County Public Service Board. But this is a matter that I think for us as a Council of Governors, this is something especially for those counties. There are quite a number, it's not all the counties. There are those counties that have large concentrations of diaspora. I think this is a matter that probably in the next meeting of the council before we leave, that we will have to put there. But it also has to be related with a broader issue of the creation of the diaspora ministry. Just like you have these other countries from Southeast Asia that have complete ministries with ministers in charge of the diaspora, which Raila himself has said he will create. The other issue of food security that you've talked about, I can see that you have not forgotten. This man, by the way, used to be the secretary of a CEO of an NGO that was dealing with cereals in Kenya. Before he came here, Nyameno, unless I've forgotten. And that's why he's still talking about cereals, even when he's in the US. But you know what you are saying is logical, the issue of traditional foods. When I was growing up, I remember that my mom used to give me this, how do you call this, but the ugali, and the finger millet. You know, in the morning, she would give me finger millet. If we were lucky and if there was maziwa, and I took that finger millet in the morning, because we used to walk long distances to go to school, that finger millet would stay in my stomach the whole day until the evening. That's what it could do to me. It would stay with me until I came back in the evening, which meant that because most of the time we are taking 2 meals. So in the broader issue again of food security, you probably have a point. But food security is also, I think, agenda item, one of in his, it should be number 7 or 8, food security. Huh? Should be number 7. So you'll wait when our 5th president is going to bring out his agenda. At the time that he's declaring now, I think you'll then understand the full perspectives of what he's going to talk about food security. The issue of labor. My brother, unskilled labor may be a bit difficult, because it's very difficult to bring unskilled labor even to Kenya. But skilled labor, especially at the technical level, you are talking about even people that are doing plumbing. You're talking even, for instance, I'll tell you, in the health sector, the other day we were advertising in the counties, even if he advertises in his own county, or I advertise in my own county for nurses, for instance, or clinic officers. We advertised the other day and there were about 2,000 or 3,000 applications. That means that we have an over-concentration of labor that is out there that can come here and probably go through induction, whatever type of courses they have here, and they are fully qualified actually. So this is an area again that you expect that the 5th, he should be able to come not only here. There was a similar case in the UK when they created the Kenya-UK Health Alliance recently, about a year ago. One of the major planks of that alliance was the issue of labor movement taking Kenyans to go and work in the UK. So you expect the 5th probably to come here and seek whether there can be, in the broader context of labor, if you can have formal exchange of people coming here. Because most of you have come in through an informal channel, not through a formal government-to-government channel. So this is something, again, that probably not only in this country, you probably are asking him, I don't see what stops him and his government from even seeking employment for our people in Australia and other countries. I think those were the issues that were raised. The diaspora, one voice. There can't be anything better than that. What stops you from putting yourselves together? Well, I don't know where Bob went and others, but Kaswe, I know what you can do. What stops you from getting Kenyans here in Texas, getting Kenyans in New Jersey, getting Kenyans from where we just came from today, getting Kenyans from San Francisco and other areas, passing a resolution that we have a man here who has suffered for our country, who is a true Democrat, and that this man should be given a chance. This is his chance. You can pass a resolution. As people, Kenyans who are in the diaspora, who are in the US, who stops you? In fact, it will be the best thing for Raila Odinga if you did that. So I think I needed to answer to those. The agenda for women, Madam, the agenda for women is much more broader than what you are talking about. You are talking about domestic violence. But it's much more, what Raila is talking about here is about the entire issue of the woman. This person who works beyond the call of duty. If you improve this woman all over, improved the economic well-being of this woman to a level where she's taking care of the family, probably so that even if the husband is a laggard, she still takes care of him. Probably the domestic violence will be lower, so that at least families can be, because most of us, by the way, have been brought up by our mothers. Most of you in this room were educated by your own mothers. And that's a fact. If I did right now, if I did a survey, I would find 60 to 70% of you were actually educated by your mothers. So I think those were the issues I thought I needed to reply to. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Unless there is burning questions because of time, we'll just recognize maybe one lady and a youth. And if there is a burning question, because it's already 10 o'clock. Daktari.
I didn't have a question, but maybe I can think of one. Greetings first, but let me get to the point. What comes to mind is a few times when you go down on your way to Kisii, there is a place, if you happen to go during the heavy rain season, that literally floods. And most of the times we see videos showing the same thing year in, year out. People being carried by the waters, animals being carried away by the waters, same destruction year in, year out. What are the plans or thoughts in terms of making a dam, making a lake that would be very, very life-sustaining when the droughts come? Thank you.
Asante sana daktari. Let us recognize one of the youth leaders in this community, kijana wa nguvu.
Not really, I'm not a youth, but I used to, that way I can get a chance to speak. But I'm a young man, I believe in my own rights. So, number one, I'm so much grateful, but also thank you for giving me this chance to also speak to this gentleman before us, men that I respect so much. I usually see you on TV, but I've seen my governor here sometime when you were, and I had a chance to speak to you. The man that I have great admiration for. In the next 10 years. So I admire what you do so very much. I see you on TV articulating issues, and today I've seen it here, and I pray to God that when I grow up, I'll be like you. And the many, many good things that you do for the political party called ODM that I love so much, the party that I have supported so much. Here's one thing that I want to tell you, gentlemen. We can speak all that we want to speak tonight. We have not won the battle yet. Let us not even celebrate. We have so many ideas, and I believe that we'll come back here and say what we want to do after we have won. So, the battle ahead of us. The other guys are also scheming. They are working hard. We are here, they are scheming. This is one thing I want you to do. First, Baba has to be the president. And Baba can only be a president if we support him with everything and everything else. Number one, we just had nominations the other day, and Wycliffe talked about it. He gave you very good advice, Balos. People are not sleeping. You go there, you get a certificate, another guy gets the same thing. That is the nature of our democracy, that people sacrificed for, that the George Anyon has sacrificed for. And we should be really, really proud of ourselves, where we have come from. I tell people all the time that where we are as a nation, by the time Uganda gets to where we are as Kenya, it will take them several years back. So we have got these milestones, independence, and then multi-party democracy, and then now 2010 constitution that has given us devolution, the best thing that ever happened to our country. The two gentlemen, Wycliffe and Governor Ongwae, you have a huge task ahead of you. Please, please, please make sure that you formulate policies that will support Baba, that we have not realized the dream of devolution, please. Where I come from Nyamira, that guy runs Nyamira and Kisii, Ongwae. I'm telling you, we don't have, am I lying? The reason why, if I tell my dad to go to Nyamira hospital, he will tell me, yeah, you want me to die. I'm telling you. He has to go to Kisii, Kisii hospital because of the services. Why so, Governor? Why? Governor Wycliffe, when you go to Kisii next time, hapo kuna mahali ingine inaitwa Manga. Hapo, Nyamira is also putting a stadium there. Governor Ongwae is also setting a stadium hapo, Gusii Stadium. If there will be a match in Gusii and there will be another one in Manga, we have to shut the one in Manga, because there will be a lot of noise. You will not be hearing what is happening in Manga. I'm telling you. I don't know why. I don't know why we are doing projects here and another one here, similar projects. Please, we made mistakes. Going forward, I advise Papa, and I believe that the next government will not be seeing all this kind of duplication of, things. If you are building a hospital here, let me do another thing here. That way we help one another. Finally, and I honestly, me, I'll be home. I'll be home to do my best to campaign for Baba, a man that I love so much. But there's something that is happening back home that I don't like. Governor, and please, I hold no brief for nobody. I've never met the candidate on the ground other than one young man called Charles Matoke. That is my guy. Whatever that happened to him, there'll be next time. Please, when you go home, do what we call a serious soul search, because I want Baba to win. Sit Simba Arati, sit all these Azimio guys that are fighting, assert your authority as the chairman of Azimio. Let us have a team that will win. Let us not have a team that is fighting, this one is fighting, but at the end of the day, they sit together, they say we are on Azimio. How are we going to win? Wycliffe mentioned something really good. Don't forget, this is politics. We will win, but Baba will be without soldiers. Baba has to have soldiers. The only way we are going to have soldiers is when you work together. Please, you guys have graduated. You are going on another level. Whatever happens behind here at Chananayo, tell those guys to work together for the good of only one man. Baba, thank you so much.
Politics is politics. Thank you so much. I'm going to turn the time to you, Excellencies, to respond.
Thank you very much. And let me start with the first issue. The good Daktari here raised the issue of drought, the issue of dams. Madam, one under the 10-point plank for the Prime Minister, there is maji kwa kina mama is one of them. Let me give you the example of Kisii. For instance, if you are looking at Kisii, you are looking at an area that the biggest problem we have right now is like the water table has gone down. Most of the rivers, like when I was growing up, the rivers we used to go and swim, there is now no water. So the point you are raising is a valid point, but do know that dams are actually, they fall under national government. And Raila has said he will ensure that there is water for Akina Mama. By the time you are getting water for Akina Mama, it means that you have actually got water for your farm. So he has put it as a major plank. And I will give you an example. I was here some time back and I went to Phoenix, Arizona. You all know how dry it is. Can you imagine that those people actually sell water to the other states that have? That's what I found in that place. I found the way they harvest their water, they harvest enough water to sell to other states. And I think we need to reach that level, and that's what our president, our fifth president, is saying. The issue of what you said, I agree with you entirely, and I think that's a dialogue that is ongoing. I want to tell you, when you come to Kisii next time, please come to Kisii Stadium, because by next week, I think we'll have finished putting a tartan track. It's going to be, if you can, where is this young man, Oboge? If you have a picture, you can show him the picture of the tartan track that we have now put in Kisii Stadium. It's going to be, I think in the western part of Kenya, is going to be the first one with a tartan track in the next 2 weeks, because it has already been put. And we want to go back. You know, the first Kenyan to actually get an Olympic gold medal was from the Gusii region. In 1968, it was not from Rift Valley, by the way. It was from the Gusii region, Nafitali Tem, in the 1968 Mexico Olympics. So we want to go back there. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, guys. I think that's enough question. We'll turn time to the senator to conclude.
Thank you, gentlemen and ladies. Thank you for your patience. We really didn't come to do a lecture, but as you said, we came for a partnership. The time was not sufficient for us to have a deep conversation, but I hope that after this, in the informal arrangements and in the sharing of numbers that we have done, we are going to continue the conversation. The so-called young man, I mean, he used that just to get the floor. I said something important. I think Governor OPARANYA, Governor Ongwae, we are praying that when Raila becomes president, you shall come here as Cabinet Secretary OPARANYA and Cabinet Secretary Ongwae, now to deal with actual policy issues. Right now you are promising. Right now we are promising. But we need to come back after August as the policy makers and as the executors of the will of the people of the Republic of Kenya. I don't want to add more because it's already 10 o'clock and I know people are going to work tomorrow. I want to call on Bob to do the vote of thanks, and the banker that he is, I know he's very brief in words and long on cash. And then after that, we'll have someone to do the closing prayer. Alafu si baada ya hapo tunasema we live at our own pleasure. We will take a picture outside. There's a setup outside. So mwenye naomba awe tayari. Bob, you could do the vote of thanks.
Makofi. Yangu ni machache. I just want to take this moment to say a big thank you to everybody who came out here today on a very busy Thursday evening. You know, a lot of you had so much other better things to do than to come over here. Huh? Yeah. So, of course, I cannot thank everybody individually. But I can give a wholesome thank you to everybody. But most of all, of course, I want to give a big thank you to my wife, Patricia, who gave me all that time to organize this meeting, you know, to have you people here. Without her, this would not have happened because we put in a lot of time. Then I'd also like to thank the committee, everybody who was in those daily Zoom meetings. You know, those took time, 2-3 hours out of your busy schedules in the evening with your families. So, of course, we thank you, your spouses and your husbands and children and family as a whole. Then, of course, I want to thank our friends who are not even Kenyans, from Melissa, like my friend Olga Emeka, who just wanted to come here and support us. He drove 1 hour away to come over here. So we thank you, Emeka and Rhoda and family, and because he brought his children. Most of all, I want to thank the leaders of the community, Benson, and of course, Alex, and of course for converting. This has been a win-win, converting a gentleman. Amewacha wheelbarrow, ameingia digital. Next, I'd like to thank candidates. Balozi, we wish you the best of luck. Thank you for supporting. Balozi came from Kenya last month, and he immediately joined the team to bring you honorable guests over here. Senator Kajuang, you know, you're just out of this world. The man's intellect, poise is just second to none. We really appreciate you, what you do in the Senate. And again, we really thank you for coming out here. You didn't need to be here. You could have been in Kenya doing other better things, but you're here to support us and also support Baba. Baba the Fifth inawezekana. The governors, you guys, my microphone went off. Governor Ongwae, it's an honor to meet you. We've just heard about what you do in Kisii, the wonderful hospitals, the roads, network, and putting money together. By the way, your DG, Mangi, was a friend of mine in Minnesota. We used to do this thing with him way back in 2007. So we thank you that you came. pass our regards to the people back in Kisii and tell them Azimio inawezekana. Governor OPARANYA, thank you very much. I know you'd have wished to be back in Kenya. President Mwai Kibaki tomorrow has a funeral program. You are a cabinet minister of his, but you chose to come and represent Baba here. It's a great honor. We want to say the big thank you to you. Tell Baba we are here for him. The 5th is going to go in. And please, when you guys win, we will expect you back here to put policy and make it happen. But I did not forget Harriet and the people in the secretariat, presidential secretariat, of why without you, this would not have happened. Harriet did so much, phone calls in the middle of the night. Please tell her thank you since she's not here. Other than that, I think we can call it a night. But the event is not over. We are leaving here. We are all going to Africa Fusion. Mombi decided to open a restaurant for us today. Our guests have not really eaten ugali since they came to the US. So we're all going to Mumbi's. Those who don't have the address, we'll give it to you as we go out. But on your way out, we have a place there where we'll take some pictures so that our governors can show the 5th how he was well accepted here in the DFW. Thank you very much. Asante.
It was not my intention to take the mic again, but a few of you have asked, how can you support the campaign? Not just in ideas and policy proposals, but even materially. I've consulted with the leadership here. The Resource Mobilization Committee of the campaign is going to organize and is going to communicate, and will communicate through your leadership, through the chair of Azimio, and through the chair of the Diaspora. We want your support in terms of ideas, skills, experience, and resources as well. But we want it to be well structured so that even if it is done, you can clearly see the effect and the difference that it is making to the campaign. I think that's what I wanted to point out. So, mwenye anatuombea?
Okay, let's pray. Yes, please. Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we are thankful for this day. Thank you, Lord, for bringing our guests safely to Dallas. Thank you, Lord, for all the committee members as well who worked hard to put this event together within a short period of time. Thank you, Lord, for the leadership of Baba as he prepares to take his position, his presidency position. We pray, Lord, that you may continue guiding him, that your angels may be around him, that you may bring peace in the country as we strive to this next level, oh Father. I pray, Lord Almighty Father, that as we depart this place, that we may travel safely to our destinations. And I pray that all the good words that have been spoken today, Lord Almighty Father, and the seeds that have been planted may bear fruit both here and in Kenya. We pray for the leadership that's represented here, the governors and the senators. Lord, I pray that you may continue to be with them, continue blessing them in their calling, and may you use them, Father, to make a difference to our families back in Kenya and here. We give you all the glory in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Yeah, so the photo session is just up at the front door. So could you guys just please head over there? The governors will find you there. But again, thank you very much. And Lily has something to say.
Yeah, to our members of the Grand Diaspora Circle, the Abagusi Circle, those who are here still, I know some have left, please, we can gather out there so we can take a photo with our governor. Thank you.
Tunasema Kenya mpya inawezekana.